Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Daily Profit Plan. I am so happy everyone is here. I am so excited to be here. So, for those of you that have never joined any workshop with me before, I'm going to do a quick, just 2-minute, 2-second intro to who I am, and then we're going to dive right in. So, I am Chanie, and like many of you, I have lived the daily challenges and joys of running childcare centers, checking bank accounts, wondering if you're going to make payroll, staff retention, all of the stuff. And so, what I'm going to share with you today in the Daily Profit Plan are systems that not only worked for me and got me out of the challenges that I worked through, but really, really work for school leaders today. Every strategy I'm sharing with you is battle tested already in schools across the country, in Canada and the UK. That's basically where our clientele is. So let's do some quick agenda and housekeeping, and then I've got a quick question for you guys. So number one, you will get the replay. So please be fully present. Do not frantically take notes. You will get the replay. Okay. This is an interactive workshop. So as questions come up, please drop them in the chat. Okay. The best insights often come up from discussion. That's why this is interactive. Okay. Number three, I am here until the last person leaves. This is your time to understand how to transform your enrollment systems. Okay. So get your questions answered about enrollment, about strategies, about everything, and about Enrollment Engine, which is our program that I'm going to share with you today. So first question that I have for all of you, and we have a quick poll coming up here, which is which enrollment challenge resonates most with your center right now? Please take a moment to vote. And again, welcome to all of you that just joined. For those of you that could be on camera, please be on camera because I like to see everyone as much as possible. Welcome. I see we have people here from all the way from the East to the West Coast. So welcome to all of you. So a lot of people hard to compete with the free, cheaper programs. Enrollment tasks keep falling through the cracks. All right, give 5 more seconds here, and then we'll see what came up as the highest. All right. So we can end the poll now. So if you chose can't effectively communicate our value to families, right? This is a profit messaging challenge, which we're going to go over today. Okay. So can't effectively communicate and hard to compete with free and cheaper programs. Those are both profit messaging challenges that we're going to go over today. All right. If you chose enrollment tasks keep falling through the cracks, that is a profit calendar challenge. And that's what we're going to go over today. It seems that from the group that's on here live, that's the smallest challenge. And then leads aren't converting into enrollments and tours don't turn into signups. That is a profit pipeline. So I'm going to go over exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Profit messaging, which is about transforming every conversation into enrollment decisions. Profit calendar, which is turning your schedule into an enrollment machine. And profit pipeline, which is converting more leads with our proven 3-tiered system and our other strategies around pipeline. So you're each coming here for different reasons, but you're each going to leave here with what you need to actually go and transform your enrollment ecosystem. So there's a statistic that I shared recently on my social, for those of you that follow me on social media, that 69% of marriage challenges never actually get solved. 69%. And so what happens with that 69%, they actually just need to be managed better. We don't find a solution for them. We learn how to manage them better. And the reason why that statistic is so important is because if you look at schools, okay, the moment the school leader stops expecting perfection and understands that you need to create better systems for managing the challenges that are always going to happen in your center. Please, let's make sure everyone's muted. Thank you. Enrollment will...
with the prize.
Thanks, team. So enrollment will always have its ups and downs. Staff schedules will always need adjusting. Parent communication will always need attention. Financial decisions will always need to be made. So this concept of like, I'm here in today's workshop and I'm going to finally learn the secret and then I'm never going to struggle with enrollment again, that's a lie. So if you're looking for the golden ticket, it's not here. This is where I teach you the systems and strategies for sustainable growth. But the notion that you build a system once and it's never going to need adjustment, or it's never going to need tweaking, or it's never going to need your attention, that is not true. Systems will always need to be upgraded and updated. Okay? So that's a really important thing to understand before we even dive into anything. So let's talk about what you really want with your enrollment journey. Okay? I want you to listen to a couple of these things and I want you to write into the comments again where you are finding yourself. One area is clear and confident messaging, right? You want you and your admin team to stop stumbling through the question when parents say, why should we choose you? Why are you so expensive? Why shouldn't I send my kid to free pre-K? Why shouldn't I do this? You want to be able to confidently answer that. You want to stop discounting tuition to compete with free. You don't want to feel defensive about your rates. You don't want to lose families to cheaper options. So give me a yes in the comments if you're yes to all these things. Like, these are the things that you're looking for. And bonus points if you want to be specific about what I shared. Whitney, yes. What if they don't ask questions? They have those questions. So even if they're not asking the question, they have them and it's your job to answer them, right? One of the things I do when I do interviews with people on my podcast or in general, one of the questions I always say, or when I hire a designer, I say, what are the questions I didn't ask you that will make sure this project is successful? Get better at asking good questions, right? Angie, yes. Okay, there's like 70 people on here. I want to hear from all of you. Wake up, turn your browsers off, focus. This is your 1 hour. Let's hear from you. Jessica, my admin team needs to be coached on how to express our program's value. Fantastic. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. The other thing that you're seeking is streamlined systems and calendar. This is something that literally just happened this morning. We're working with a client who owns 2 locations, and she had her admin team do tours, but they didn't have any follow-up system that was documented in her calendar, which means she would run 4 tours, but then she didn't have any time in her calendar where it was like, follow up with that tour, right? A follow-up and reschedule that, or follow up with the task of making sure that the parent actually pays. There was no streamlined system and calendar. From introducing that system, a follow-up, okay? She started this on January 6th. Today, if you look at your calendar, is February 5th. She has enrolled 80 families for the 2025 and 2026 calendar year. 80 kids in 30 days are enrolled because of Profit Calendar. 80, not 8, not 7, not 6, 80. This is literally just doing Profit Calendar, just understanding how to put stuff in your calendar. Okay. So how many of you wish that you had a better system for putting things in the calendar, not just for you, but your entire admin team? Enrollment is not a solo sport. It's an entire organization's responsibility to take care of enrollment. And if you guys don't know what things you need to put in your calendar, you are putting thousands of dollars on the table. Okay, I need all my admin team to follow our system. Me, need better systems, calendar, sticking to the plan. Yes, sticking to the plan is understanding your calendar, all of that. My admin team needs learned how to give tours, new talking points. Awesome. Okay. And lastly is predictable pipeline results. People want to stop guessing about next month's enrollment and crossing their fingers and their toes and hoping, ooh, I hope that location hits its enrollment targets. You want to stop having feast or famine. You don't want to wait and hope that families will sign up, and you want to stop stressing about making payroll. You actually want the system that consistently brings in the leads that you're looking for. So, how do we do this? First thing is, I'm going to share my screen here. I don't really like sharing screen. That's why I don't do it so often, but I want to actually want you to actually see this. So these are the 5 years. I shared this in my last workshop on money leaks. You could go check that out. It's on my podcast. It's everywhere. This conversation is all about enrollment and the daily profit plan, but I need to show you the 5 gears because today's conversation is only about enrollment. What are the 5 gears? The 5 gears are the only 5 things that you ever need to work on in your childcare center. Every single solitary thing that you or your admin or teachers or anyone does in your center, literally down to the custodian, every single person inside of your center is always working on one of these 5 things: enrollment, parent engagement, staff retention, financial health, and strategic growth. That's it. And so what you need to understand is when you are building systems, you need to know, which gear am I building this for? What am I doing this for? This 5 gear systems helps you prioritize the right gears at the right time so you can create sustainability. So today's conversation is about enrollment. We're working on the enrollment gear and ensuring that we actually build the sustainable system for that gear. Okay. Oops. And it's not stop sharing. Sorry. Did I stop share? I did. Okay. See, notice I don't share a lot, that I don't even know when I stop sharing. Okay. So now I want you to take a pause and think about, okay? When your enrollment gear is stuck, everything else is harder. If you can't move the enrollment gear forward, you can't invest in staff, you can't improve your program, you can't plan for growth, and you can't build financial stability. Okay. So you need to be able to work on the enrollment gear, but you cannot work on all 5 at the same time. And that's an important understanding to make. And I've said this on other calls, and I'm going to say this again. With the 5 gears, you can only sustainably work on 2 gears at a time. 2 gears, while the other 3 are in maintenance mode. And this is why in Enrollment Engine, we teach what is enrollment improvement activity to actually get your enrollment up, and what is maintenance enrollment activity. What are the things you need to do to maintain your current enrollment so it doesn't dip? And every single one of those gears. So now let's pause, and it's important for you to reflect back in your own words what you're processing. So please come into the comments and share, what insight did you just have on the 5 gears and the enrollment component? Trying to do too much at once. Yes, when we try to do too much at once, you drain company profits and you steal resources from team members to work on the things you actually have to work on. So you're exhausted, you're burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you can't sleep, and you're still not getting traction because you're trying to move all 5 gears at the same time, as opposed to saying we're putting all resources into ensuring that these 2 gears get out of the red, get out of issues, while these 3 are maintained, and then we'll come back to these. It's the best to only work on 2 at a time. It's your lifeline to only work on 2 at a time. This is your permission to be human. Everywhere else you go is expecting you to be superhuman. Oh, you can do all 5 things. Oh, you can also do that and raise a family and also do this and also marry for kids and also move and also this and also, and oh, remember to be calm all the time also and do your self-care. What the hell? No, 2 things at a time. Like, be human, not crazy person. Like, let's be human, okay? It's the most crucial. Focus on 2 gears at a time. I try to work on all 5. I know everyone tries to. And then the moment they understand the 5 gear concept, you stop feeling guilty that you're not working on all 5, because you start realizing the depth of your humanity. And you start to realize how much we're profitable. Just like the story I said, in 30 days, they registered 80 kids because literally that is the only thing they did. And I promise you, if you understand how to channel your resources to work on 1 or 2 gears at a time, you can get those results. The issue is you are scattered in so many different resources that you cannot see sustainable progress. It takes a cohesive team to keep all the gears moving. Yes, that's what the 5 gear calendar system is about. That's what profit calendar is about. It's not the owner's working on this and the enrollment specialist works on this and this person works on this and this person works on this. No, that's a fragmented team. You guys ever heard the word, we need to get everyone on the same page? It's not just a platitude. This is how you get everyone on the same page. 5 gears. So it's not you're doing enrollment and you do staff retention. No, the entire company is working on these gears right now. I keep trying to do everything at once. I need to learn how to focus on two things. Yes. So it's not just learning how to focus. You need the systems for focusing. And that's profit calendar, profit messaging, profit pipeline. You need to understand how to re-engineer your day. We can't just cross our fingers for hope and say, oh, I really hope this happens. No, we need to create the system. Enrollment drives everything. I like the idea of keeping everything in maintenance while I'm working on the other two things. Exactly. There is enough time to do all the things well. No, you're not supposed to do all the things well. It's too crazy, right? Prioritizing two at a time seems crazy because I'm used to excessive multitasking. You're used to excessive underperforming. So multitasking is a mask for underperformance. When we multitask, you're not getting a lot of stuff done. You're very busy, but you're not productive and you're not having output. You're actually underperforming. When you learn how to focus and say we're working on the gears, you will get results that will blow your mind off because you are so disciplined about your time. So disciplined. Seems like I'm working on all of them. This is the epiphany I had from the previous. Yes, exactly. Doing the right things at the wrong time. Yep. Trying to juggle everything. It's easier to drop things. It's not, you're not dropping things. No, you are strategically keeping three gears in maintenance mode. I'm going to maintain these three things while I improve these two things. We don't neglect any gears. They're all essential. But there is a season when this gear is critical and there's more time and energy that's working on it, while this gear is in maintenance mode. We never neglect a gear, ever. Being the only staff plus the owner as I build my biggest challenge, profit calendar, profit pipeline, and profit messaging. Multitasking is underperforming. Yes, truth bomb right there. Yes, it is. Okay, great. So let's continue. So let's start with profit messaging, right? These are the three profit drivers that transform enrollment, okay? Profit messaging. The first thing we want to fix is how we speak and communicate about our programs, right? So what happens a lot is you get asked about your rate and there's this immediate like defense, like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to say my price. And then you try to justify your price against free pre-K. You can't fight free pre-K because free is free. So even if you charge $1, you're more expensive. Even if you charge $1, you are more expensive because that option's free. So this program, this conversation is not for people that run public schools or free pre-K. This is for private school leaders. That's why I wrote clearly, the daily profit plan is for private school leaders. It is for people who are actually communicating value. Free is not communicating value. It's free. So when we struggle to articulate value clearly, you are constantly playing defense, constantly, right? So how do we break down what profit messaging actually is? There's a couple of components. The first thing is understanding how to read parent signals and how to make your values clear. And these are two things we teach inside of Enrollment Engine. It's understanding what are the parents signaling to us on tours, through engagement surveys, through community, through the socioeconomic status of where we live, through the parent demographics and psychographics. What are the signals that parents are communicating to us, and are we reading them properly? And then you train your staff how to read these signals. And that's what Train the Troops is all about. Training your admin team, training your classroom teachers, training your front office staff how to actually communicate the value of the organization. So we worked at the school in California. They're actually an elementary. They have a preschool and they have an elementary school. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. And they were not struggling in their preschool. They were struggling in their elementary, and they could not communicate the value. And when they worked through our parent signals and our values framework, they were actually able to create specific codes that they wanted the teachers to communicate during tours. And so she created a handout following our framework, and she gave them to all of the teachers to actually communicate this during parent tours. So when parents would come do tours and parents would say, what are the kids learning? What are they doing here? What's different about this school? Why should we send our kids here? Teachers knew how to answer every single question. And not just off the cuff or talking out of their pants. No, every teacher said the same thing, communicated the same value. That is streamlined communication. That's profit messaging. That is ensuring that your value of the organization is being communicated consistently across the board. The other component why it's called profit messaging is because if you're a front office person who runs a tour, and on the tour, they talk about all the features about your farm to table program. And then on Wednesday, you have someone who runs the tour, the director, and she talks about your playground and your sensory gym or whatever it is, right? If everyone's communicating different things, you actually have no idea which message is converting, which message actually has the highest conversion rate on a tour, because everyone's saying something else. So you're just, again, shooting darts in the dark. I converted a tour. Okay, what did you say that converted it? Was it this part? Was it this benefit? Was it this value? Was it this thing? I don't know. I just said a whole bunch of things and, it worked. I got my pizzazz. Okay, if you're going to try to keep enrollment based on your charisma and pizzazz, then you cannot create a sustainable ecosystem because no one is you. Everyone is unique. You need a predictable system. Okay, pausing, come into the comments. What are your insights? Another part of profit messaging is understanding who is your perfect fit family, who is that parent avatar, right? Really understanding these components. And these are systems. This is not, we do this one time. It's building this cohesive system and that it's consistently updated. So this client that we started working with in January, after her admin did about 7 or 8 tours, after each tour that converted or didn't, she sat down with her and did strategic work. That's where she was like, okay, so these 7 things that you said, these 2 were the parts that the parents resonated with. Okay, let's expand on that. And then the next time you do a tour, let's make the tour just about these 2 things and let's see if it converts. That's strategic work. Okay. Cohesive messaging, I do most tours, but others step in from time to time just to say whatever comes to mind. If you do most tours and you convert, Laura, that's fantastic. Now we have to create a predictable system that takes your magic and turns it into a system. It's no longer Laura's magic converts. No, it's our school's proprietary system. Here's how it converts, right? Kathleen, what do you put on the tour? What do you put on a tour list for staff? That depends on parent signals and your values framework. So this is why there's no generic answers here. It is you have to sit down and do the work. You have to build the system, right? Because again, we're looking for the dopamine quick fixes. That is not what creates an ecosystem. You need a consistent value message that is replicable, repeatable. Yes, training the teachers to all be cohesive. Yeah, that's train the troops, right? That is building their confidence triggers, because the reason why staff aren't cohesive in their messaging is they get defensive and they tell you, we're not enrollment specialists. We're not salespeople. We're teachers. Okay, that's great. I love that you're a teacher. You're the best person to communicate what your center is all about. So in the exact same way that you learned how to teach a circle time and you memorize everything that you said at the circle time, you're going to memorize these 5 talking points when parents do tours. And you're going to say it enough times until it literally comes out of your head. And then you just fly off the cuff and you sound like a magical Laura, but you're magical you, right? It's not rocket science. It's systems. It's training. Consistent messaging regarding value, parent signals. Yep. I'm not comfortable with teachers answering questions. Exactly, because they don't have the confidence. You don't trust them. So we need to train them. And then you need to role play with them. This is all part of the Train the Troops program. Train them, role play, build their confidence, then you'll trust them. We need to trust our teachers if we want the parents to trust the teachers, right? Getting the staff on board for the same messaging. If everyone's saying the same thing, it makes the program unique. Yes, it might seem a little suspicious, like they all got a script. The last time parents all sat down at a Starbucks and said, okay, what did the parents say on your tour? Did they say this? Oh, they said the same thing to me. Oh, did you say this? Oh, did they say, oh, they said something different? Oh, they all memorized the same script. That never happened ever. Parents don't sit down and have a recap of the tours to match did the teachers memorize the script? Okay. When I watch a sitcom, I don't say, oh my God, all the actors memorized a script. You know, they didn't just like act on cue. Yeah, because the sitcom is a performance. A tour is a performance. The teacher is performing a service to the parents. The parents came for a tour and the teachers are performing a service. You're performing the tour and they're communicating. When you perform a service, you need a script. You need a script. And trust me, you didn't want me to speak off the cuff right now. You want me to have a script. You want me to be prepared, right? Great. Then your teacher should also be prepared, right? This is flipping the mindset on these things. Okay. I've been relying on parents to share the why and market the program for me. Word of mouth versus paid advertising, their own experience. Word of mouth is great until it stops working. Word of mouth cannot be your only lead generation resource. You must have multiple marketing channels, and that's what Profit Pipeline is. You need other engines to fuel growth. Word of mouth works as a great maintenance activity. If you hit your enrollment target and now you're like, okay, now we just want to maintain, great, just use your word of mouth system. But if you need to grow enrollment, word of mouth is not enough. You need multiple pipelines coming in. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so that is profit messaging, right? Really understanding everything that goes along. Not the parents, the teachers all answering the same thing. Okay, yeah, that's like the person who answered the phone and was told via teleprompter, you have to say the person's name 3 times while you're trying to sell them the fax machine. So the guy gets on the phone, he's like, hi, Max, nice to meet you, Max. I'm really happy to have a conversation with you, Max. And then he tries to sell him the fax machine. Wow. That's not what I meant when I said say the person's name 3 times. So the teachers don't all say the same thing to the parent. It's universal across the board that there is consistent messaging about how we do block center, how we do playtime, how we do playground. So if this teacher is talking about playground, great. Then this teacher says the food situation or whatever it is. But across the board, all your classrooms are communicating the same value. Okay. Let's continue. Profit calendar. What is profit calendar? The second driver for profitability in enrollment is creating consistent enrollment activities. Okay, so here's what usually happens. Tours get scheduled, right? When a parent requests or whatever it is. And then follow-ups happen when there's time and when I remember and when it's not a busy time and when we just stop doing this and when this crisis finishes, then I'm going to follow up with this person. And so your enrollment looks like, oh, I really hope that we hit our enrollment targets this month because your calendar is telling your enrollment what to do. So your calendar is telling your enrollment, keep hoping, keep praying. Soon there's going to be time for enrollment, as opposed to your calendar telling enrollment, we're hitting our targets this month. We've got all of these things blocked out. So what does a profit calendar look like? 1, it has profit blocks. It has blocks of time in the calendar that says, do this, follow up with this person, close the loop on this system, send this personalized email, call this person, work this leads list. It has specific things that actually drive enrollment. A profit calendar has strategic batching, which batches specific enrollment-based activity. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to think of a new marketing campaign. I got 16 minutes until my next thing. So in 16 minutes, I got to figure out a marketing campaign. Good luck. A marketing campaign does not take 16 minutes to put together. You know, it does take 6 minutes. An email following up with a parent tour, coming up with a new marketing campaign, 2 hours. So you need strategic batching. You need to understand how your calendar works. Theme days. What happens on each day of the week? Mondays, we do this for enrollment. Tuesdays, I do this. Wednesdays, I do this. Fridays, I do this. Friday afternoons, I do this. That's theme days. What else is a profit calendar? So this is something my mentor Todd taught me a long time ago when I first started the business. Red and green activities. Green is cash. Red is stop sign. If you want to have enrollment, your calendar needs to have green activities, which are cash generating activity. Cash generating activity is tours, is follow-up, is lead management. Red activity, posting on social media, fixing your website. That is red activity. That is not close to the cash. It's very far from the cash, but it's very easy to do because you don't get rejected on social media. You will get rejected if you call someone up. So it's very easy to hide behind social media and websites and answering machines and all kinds of stuff like that, which we're like, it's so important. No, it's not. It's called red activity. Those things are great to do when you're in maintenance mode. When you need to hit your enrollment targets, you need cash activities on that calendar. Okay. What else goes into a profit calendar? Before I dive into the other piece of profit calendar, come into the comments, insights. Let's hear from you all. Again, there's so many of you on here. I want to hear from all of you. Excuse me. We follow up tours on day 3 and track this in our CRM. So we had a couple clients who used to do that. And then they changed their standard. And after a tour, they follow up 6 hours later. They bumped up and doubled their conversions. Why are you waiting 3 days? That family is touring in 6 different schools. You're going to be toast. Right? But we follow up 3 days later. It's like, oh, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be nudgy. You have the best school. Schools that are on this school call want to be the best. That's what schools of excellence is. If you want to be the best, then you don't have to worry about being nudging. Now, the reason why we worry about being nudgy is because we say things like, hey, I'm just following up. Blah. We don't say, hey, I'm just following up. You need a personalized template that shows customization. We teach that inside of Enrollment Engine, which is Molly watched this at the sensory bin. Okay, so she was really excited about this. Let's put that in our follow-up email. And let's actually craft that really beautifully. So when Molly's mom sees that 3 hours later or 6 hours later, she's like, oh my God, they remember my daughter's name. They remember that she loved the sensory bin. And they're checking in on, if I'm ready to make the next move. No other schools did that. Bam, I'm in. Be different. Stop being like everyone else. Everyone else follows up 3 days later. You follow up 6 hours later. Right? Be different. Okay, let's hear from some more of you. Working with families on signing up for state subsidies. Okay, that's different. Need tour follow-ups, even if there isn't immediate openings, block time for green activities. Yes. If there aren't immediate openings, that's understanding how to work your wait list, right? That's profit pipeline. That's creating your wait list. There is nurturing your wait list. There are multiple channels of how to nurture a wait list. Add more green. Profit blocks are important. Yes. So the fortune is always in the follow-up. Fortune in the follow-up. Whenever you are worried about following up, take a sticky note, put it on your computer and write fortune in follow-up. I want fortune. I follow up. Right? No fortune, no follow-up. Follow up. You always have to follow up. Okay? I tend to fill time with busy to-dos. Of course, we all do. Load your activity with green activities. Yes. Profit generating activities. I immediately send an e-packet to my tours that covers what we spoke about. Again, that's generic. We want it to be specific. So yes, send the e-packet, but make sure your email has a personalization component to it. Show the family you care. In a economy that we live in now, we live in a trust recession. Since COVID in 2020, the trust in any person who is in a position of authority has gone down more than I can count. So if we're in a trust recession where nobody trusts anyone, and especially if you're in a position of authority, bam, you're out. You have to cultivate trust through multiple touch points. That's what profit messaging is. That's what profit calendar is. Design your calendar to consistently make sure you're doing profit generating activity. A profit generating activity is building trust, not posting on social media. Build trust, right? The first thing people tell me is like, oh my God, it's going to take too long for me to send personalized messages. What else are you doing during that time that you're obsessed with how long it's going to take you to write a personalized message? You just don't want to. You just want it to be easy. Well, filling up your enrollment pipeline isn't easy. It takes work. It's easy to post on social media. You want full classrooms? You want 90% enrollment, like fully full? Do the work. And you don't have to do it alone. Bring your team. Bring your team. We send handwritten cards. Yes, we have a client who does that as well. Tuesday's my enrollment day. Again, Kelly, there's no rules, right? So when we ask things like, do you recommend giving prices over the phone? That depends on so many factors. I don't know your parent demographic. I don't know your community. I don't know how many competitors you have within walking distance. There's so many variables to if you should communicate or do certain things. And that's why you want to first build your pipeline and build your 3 profit drivers. And then you can get to the nuances of, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? First, build the initial frameworks. Okay. So what else do we need to understand about profit calendar? Because enrollment is an entire ecosystem and it is not a single person's job, that means that every person on your leadership team needs a job connected to enrollment. That is why I don't do job descriptions. I do calendar-based roles, because if your job description is to do X, Y, and Z, but our company is in a pinch and we need enrollment and you're just going to, I don't do enrollment. It's not in my job description. Okay. No, we have calendar-based roles. This company needs to work on enrollment, which means you were hired to do special events, all that. We don't need to do special events for the next 60 days. We need to get butts in seats. So here's what your new calendar needs to look like. This is how you build a profit generating machine and a school where everyone is aligned. Okay. So come into the comments and I want you to write how many people on your leadership team can actually do enrollment. How many teachers do you have? How many admin? How many front office people? How many people do you have on the team right now that should be generating enrollment? Drop it into the comments. And then I'm going to walk you through the 4 different types of work that align with enrollment. 3. So you don't have 3. You have 3 people on your admin team, but you also have 10 teachers. So it's not just 3. It's I have 3 leadership people and I have 20 teachers, or I have 4 leadership and 17 teachers, right? 3, myself included, 3, 2 admin, they can both do enrollment. I have 1 teacher who can do tours. Every single teacher is part of enrollment. Every single teacher in different ways, okay? And that's what I'm going to explain here, because this is going to blow your mind. There are 4 types of work. And every single gear has 4 types of work, the same 4 types, but they look different. So what is it in enrollment? There's strategic level enrollment. There is implementation level enrollment. Excuse me. There is support level enrollment, and then there's classroom level. I'm going to say it again. Strategic level enrollment, implementation level enrollment, support level enrollment, and classroom level enrollment. Depending on what your role is in the center, your profit cash generating time blocks should reflect what role you have in the organization. So now come into the comments and I want you to write, what is your role in the company? Are you the strategic level in enrollment? Are you the implementation level? Are you the classroom level? Are you the support level? Are you all 4 right now? And that's where we have to start figuring out how to actually do an equitable distribution of enrollment activity in order to hit your goals. Okay. Whitney, we spend a lot of time on red activity, social media, takes us hours. Love the idea of theme days and focusing on cash. Yeah. So you could take a 3-hour block every Wednesday and say, 4 hours every Wednesday, we're going to do social media, because I'm not against social media. I post on social media also, but you have to understand it's not a cash generating activity. And then you say, for the remainder 15 hours that we have to work on enrollment, here are the cash generating activities that we're going to do in order to hit this target. Okay. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Strategic implementation, everything but classroom level. Okay. So I'm going to do quick overview. Again, I dive deep into this inside of Enrollment Engine. What is strategic level work inside of enrollment? This is you creating enrollment targets. You are creating the market positioning. You create the value that you're going to communicate, right? So what happens now is the teachers decide the value, because the parent comes in and then whatever the teacher's doing in the moment or whatever she has capacity for, that's what she communicates. No, She's the classroom level for enrollment. The strategic leader decides this is what you say when a parent walks in. Yes, I tell you what to say when a parent walks in because this is strategic level work. I don't tell you what to say at a circle time because that's your circle time. That's yours. You decide. I tell you what to say when a parent walks in because that's strategic level work. We have to own our leadership. Stop apologizing for the role that you have in the company. You're the leader. You are responsible for payroll. You are responsible for the profitability and the lives of these people. That's strategic level work, enrollment trends, all of these things. What's implementation level work? That person creates the systems. They design the tour schedule. They do the staff training protocols. They do all the enrollment event coordination, right? Not the strategic level person, the implementation level person. Then you have the support level. That person is doing paperwork processing, database maintenance, wait list management, tour coordination, daily inquiry follow-up. Now you're like, whoa, there's all these profit generating activities that we're kind of doing when there's time, but we're not really doing. Classroom level enrollment, maintaining a tour ready environment, family engagement, creating a welcoming atmosphere, supporting trial day experiences. That's classroom level enrollment. And I teach that all inside of Train the Troops. Yes. Okay, pausing, come into the comments. Insights from 4 levels of work. I know I'm going quick. I have so much I want to share with you. So that's why I'm moving quickly. But I also know that I want this to be super valuable. So we've done profit messaging, profit calendar. I'm about to jump into profit pipeline, but I just want to hear big insights here. Okay. Own my leadership. Yes, Heidi, be more specific. Like, what part do you need to own? This is what it means to be a leader, right? This is why people work with our company in Schools of Excellence, because it is unapologetic leadership. Not mean, not unkind, real leadership. Alyssa, love the clarity. Amazing. Okay, let's hear from some more of you. Profit calendar. What are your insights? I need to stop apologizing for having standards. Yes, and holding staff accountable. Yes, 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 and yes again. Classroom enrollment level has not even crossed my mind outside of them maintaining their classrooms. Yes, there's so many things that your teachers could be doing to boost your enrollment. So many. Whitney, love the idea of each person having a specific role or level in enrollment. Yeah, and Whitney, it goes also more for in every single gear, right? So staff retention, teachers are part of staff retention. The front office person is part of staff retention. Financials, teachers are part of financials. Teachers play a role in every single gear, just at different levels. And it is so freeing to stop thinking that everything is your job. It's not. It's not. Okay. Stacy, love the idea that I'm not in charge of every single stage of the enrollment process. Yes, training your staff to take on different jobs. Absolutely. Terry, appreciate the stop apologizing for my role, utilizing all the staff in the enrollment process. Yes, if the gear that this company is working on is enrollment, roll up your sleeves, everyone. Let's dive in. We're all doing this because then we all win. We all win. I need clarity on the roles for the 4 types of work. Yes. Calendar-based versus job positions. Yeah, that's a whole separate conversation, and I'll probably do a podcast on it one day, but I would like to create the death of job descriptions. I think they're terrible. It's 2025. No more job descriptions. Okay. Lastly, profit pipeline. The final driver of your enrollment engine is profit pipeline. Most centers have no way to predict future enrollment. They lose track of interested families and they cannot convert their waitlist effectively. And so profit pipeline is about understanding what is our lead management system? What is a cold lead? What is a warm lead? What is a hot lead? What is lead hygiene? Are we cleaning out our system consistently and following up with people? Where are we getting people from? What's our pipeline, right? There are so many different types of pipelines. How are we creating which pipeline works best for us? I won't know what works best for you. We have to test. We have to see. There's multiple ways to bring in families, but you have to start creating the profit pipeline. And the profit pipeline can't just be word of mouth. It can't, because guess what? In a trust recession, people trust less. So even though their best friend's uncle's brother said that, I need to see it for myself, and I need to see it again, and then I need to talk to my husband, and then I need to think about it, and then I'm not sure, and then I don't know. It's really far. I don't know if we're gonna get this. I'll text you in 2 months. I'll text you after I have a baby. We're trying to have a baby. I'll message you. I've heard it all. Heard it all. profit pipeline shows you there are multiple channels to bring in families. Parent ambassadors, right? Community outreach, coattail marketing is something that I teach, right? Coming on the coattails of other people that are doing marketing and having your center be front and center, right? We had a couple schools do that right before Christmas. There was multiple tree lightings, and different schools sponsored different parts of the tree lightings, and they had this like array of people looking at them, and it's like, oh my God, I didn't even know that school existed, right? There are so many creative ways that you can bring in families that you're not even thinking about because you're so busy plunging toilets and running after people. Profit generating activity. Nowhere in your calendar should it say chasing fires. It should always show your cash generating activity. Okay. Let's go into the comments. Profit pipeline. How many of you would like to create a better system for your pipeline, better lead management, better parent ambassador program? We just had a client who joined in December. She already has 5 parent ambassadors that are excited about joining, and they're going to be recruiting other families for her. And guess what? Now they're part of her enrollment engine. Now they're part of her enrollment engine, these parent ambassadors. So now she doesn't just have teachers and her and this and that. No, now she has everyone part of it. And here's another little secret. For everyone that has their husbands manage the financials is one gear. So if you want to manage the financials, a gear, great. You need to be part of all the gears. All the gears. You don't just get to manage financials. Here's what you could do for enrollment. Follow up with these 6 people, right? Everyone plays a part for enrollment. You don't just get to say, oh, I do the financials. Oh, I do this. Oh, I do that. No, you don't. No. We create efficiency and profitability inside of the organization. Okay, I would love to take my school to next level. Cannot because I'm constantly firefighting. The first strategy, Eric, to get out of firefighting is profit calendar. Your pathway out of firefighting, your pathway out of crisis is profit calendar. Okay, profit calendar. Okay, so let's talk about excuse me, I'm talking so much. Let's talk about the 5 mindset blocks that typically happen when we're trying to make a change inside of our school. So I'm going to share with you guys about Enrollment Engine and what Enrollment Engine is all about. But what happens a lot of times is when we're presented with an opportunity to join something or an opportunity to grow or an opportunity to invest in our staff, our bodies immediately recoil like, oh my God, 1 second, like what's happening here? So I want to decode what are the 5 mindset blocks that typically happen when we want to make a change, okay? The first thing is, I should figure this out on myself. I should be able to do this on my own. That is pride. It is pride blocking. Pride blocking blocks growth because your pride constantly tells you, I should know this by now. I'm 40 years old. I should be able to do this by now. I should be able to do this. I should be able to. My husband just started taking art lessons. He had his 3rd lesson this morning and he came back from the lesson and he looked so defeated. And I'm like, why the sour face? And he's like, oh, I didn't do as well as, I wanted to do. And I was like, it's your 3rd class. It's your 3rd class. Like, dude, like you're not supposed to do amazing every single class, right? There is such a belief that comes again from being in a schooling system for forever that I should know how to do it and I should be the best right away. No, humility. You know what? I just spent 40 minutes on a call and there's so many things that I need to learn. Where can I invest to go learn this more? Second thing that stops people from growing. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? There is a paralysis around wasting resources. Oh my God, we're going to waste money. We're going to waste money. It's not going to work. We're going to waste money. We're going to waste money. The amount of money that you are wasting right now because you don't know all these things will blow your head off. But we are so afraid to part with something. And understanding that anytime you grow, there is inherent risk in that. Anyone that tells you with 100% certainty you can do this, run for the hills. There's no 100% certainty in anything. To live is to be risked. You walk out the door, something can happen to you. In your bed, something can happen to you. To be alive is to risk. Now, I was listening to a podcast yesterday on charisma. This person was saying something. He's like, one of my friends told me, you're so normal, you're invisible. I want you to write that down. You're so normal, you're invisible. Your center is so normal, you are invisible. Parents do not see you. You are not seen. So here's the thing that happens when you're normal and then you're invisible. You don't get bullied. Nobody picks on you. But then you know what else happens? Nothing else happens. So yeah, you don't get bullied and you don't get that, but you also don't get any friends. And you also don't cultivate any relationships. And nothing amazing happens for you in your life because you're normal and you're invisible. Start being excellent, extraordinary, different. Third reason, I'm too busy. I'm not ready. That is the perfectionist. That is the perfectionist speaking. Because when you implement the systems, they reduce admin time by 20% within the first 30 days. You are so busy because you don't have systems. So every time I hear someone say, I'm too busy, I'm not ready, that is your red flag. I need systems. I need profit calendar. I need profit messaging. I need profit pipeline. That is your golden ticket for that. Okay. So what is Enrollment Engine? Enrollment Engine is our signature program, which is a one-year program that helps you build a predictable enrollment system to grow your enrollment by 25% in 100 days. That is our promise. Increase enrollment by 25% within 100 days. How are we able to promise that? Because the profit pipeline, the profit messaging, and profit calendar are systems that are designed to increase your enrollment by 25% in that time frame. So when you join Enrollment Engine, there are 3 phases that you will walk through. Number 1 is your leadership operating system. This is where we teach you how to go from an overwhelmed leader to a strategic leader. Many of you resonate with what I said, stop apologizing for being a leader. That is what we teach in the leadership operating system. The next thing is profit messaging, just like I spoke about. Every parent interaction turns into an enrollment opportunity. Every parent interaction. This is where your team masters the parent signals, the promise, the perfect fit family, the train the troops, everything inside of profit messaging. The third phase, profit pipeline. This is where you create a self-sustaining enrollment machine. So one of the things that we do when you join Enrollment Engine is our weekly enrollment tracker. And this is where everyone on the team contributes to the enrollment tracker. So you guys can see, are we hitting our target? Are we not hitting our target? Do we have a wait list? Have we launched the parent ambassador program? Is it generating referrals? Have we implemented marketing? Have we mastered our community presence? And then profit calendar, actually designing a school calendar that drives predictable growth, So a lot of times people say things like, okay, this is another program, this is another thing, I don't like being sold to, here's the thing. Inside of Schools of Excellence, we typically have an application process for anyone that joins any of our programs. This is the first time we're opening up Enrollment Engine where there is no application process. We are inviting schools to join because I believe so strongly in the content and the systems that we've created here. More than just the content and curriculum is your ecosystem of support. So as you move through the program, there's going to be 2 times a month profit block sessions. This is where twice a month, our coaches will help you design your profit blocks on your calendar. This is where there's going to be monthly growth lab conversations, where you're going to get to collaborate with other leaders on what's your marketing strategy? Did you raise tuition? How did you raise tuition? Do you say your prices on the phone? Do you not say your prices on the phone? This is where you have that conversation. Plus all of the templates and tools. So I'm going to share my screen because sometimes people like to see things visually, which is fine. These are just some of the tools that are included in Enrollment Engine. Our 5 gears diagnostic, our enrollment activities rubric. This is one of our most used ones where it breaks down exactly what is a red activity and what is a green activity. So when you see one person from your front office staff that has red activity on their calendar, come to them and say, your calendar is full of red activity. It is not possible that by Friday, we will hit our enrollment target for the week because your calendar is all full of red. Let's get some green. Here's green activity. We have a staff training guide. We have guides on how to walk your families through parent avatars. That's the career focused millennial parents, how to talk to these families. We have parent partnership blueprints, which is how to build consistent connections. The 5 gears rubric. We have a enrollment template, an enrollment template that comes along with that, which walks you through exactly the types of questions that you want to ask families. Now, when people join, they're like, how quickly am I going to make back my ROI? What's the return on investment? I can't afford this right now. I'm not sure of this. No problem. The 6 money leaks is something that I taught a couple weeks ago. And when you join Enrollment Engine, we have something called the Recovery Blueprint Call, where when you join, within 30 days of joining, myself or one of our coaches will run the return on investment call. And that's where we're going to walk you through these 6 money leaks diagnostics. And we're going to show you exactly where $2,500 is already sitting inside of your school. So not only are you going to make your investment back right away, I'm going to show you where to find it inside of your center. So it's not like, oh, I have to enroll a kid and then I'm going to make the money back. No, that's what everyone else tells you. I'm not telling you that. I am going to show you without even enrolling any kids. I'm going to show you where there's $2,500 sitting inside of your school right now from these 6 money leaks. So here's the thing that I want to invite you all to do. When you understand how to work these systems, profit calendar, profit messaging, profit pipeline, you build an unstoppable enrollment ecosystem inside of your organization. My team put the link inside of the comments. You could check that out. When you join the program, it's 1-year access to the training, to the content, to the curriculum, and to the coaching support as well. And you're going to get the recovery blueprint call as well. What I want to do here before I answer questions about any more questions about the program, because I see people are asking, what other questions does anyone have about the 3 profit systems? Pipeline, messaging, and calendar. Because I want each of you, whether you're joining Enrollment Engine today, or if you're not joining Enrollment Engine today, which is fine, I want you to leave knowing that there is an enrollment ecosystem that you could be plugging into. So let's look at a couple of these. Kelly, besides follow up with parents, what would constitute as another example of green activity? Great question. So I want you to kind of think through this before I tell you. So let's look at this concept. What is activity that is closest to the cash? What can you do in your center right now that will bring in cash as quickly as possible? A tour is a green activity. A phone call is a green activity. Communicating with a waitlist parent is a green activity. Sitting down and creating a new marketing campaign is a green activity. Sitting and talking to 2 parent ambassadors who can introduce you to other families, green activity. Laura, just opened a second location. We have a long wait list, but many families are choosing to stay on the wait list to wait for an opening at their original location. I do tours at both locations, so messaging is the same. We also did a mix of seasoned and new staff. They're only about 10 minutes apart. Okay, Laura, you need to really nurture that wait list. And we have an entire framework for that, really nurturing it well, because a wait list is only as strong as the nurturing and follow-up. Wait lists are like sand. It could disappear overnight. And we had a client who had their waitlist disappear. Yes, specifics on profit messaging, calendar, and private. Give me a specific question. Because again, all the specifics we teach inside of Enrollment Engine. So tell me what specific you're looking for right now that I could support you with. Tours, phone calls, emails, communication. What does a parent ambassador program look like? Great. A parent ambassador program is something that we teach inside of Enrollment Engine on one foot. It's really designing an entire ecosystem where parents understand how to go about their lives being a parent ambassador. So it's not a parent referral program, which is like, hey, by the way, if you enroll X amount of families, we'll give you $200. Okay, $200 is an adult $5 bill. Okay, $200 is not a lot of money, not in today's economy. Okay, it's really not. So telling someone that if you enroll a family, I'll give you $200, that's not enticing, because the amount of work that a parent has to do to get a family enrolled is a lot more than $200. because they have to nurture the relationship with that person. They have to follow up. They have to communicate. They need to understand how to do all the things that you're doing. So you need to create a parent ambassador packet and then teach them when you're in the Starbucks, here's what to do. When you're in a playground, when you're at the yoga studio, when you're at Mommy and Me, when you go here, when you go there, here's all the things that you could be looking for. And here's all the things that you could be communicating. That's a parent ambassador program, not we have a referral program. Great. $200 is a joke for asking a parent to enroll a $10,000 family inside of your center. So you have to understand, like, when people come to me, like, a lot of times people will ask me, like, hey, can you I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. And it's not like, oh, if anyone comes by, it's not if anyone comes by. Because when I see people, the first thought on my mind is not, oh, how do I help this person? I'm not part of their program. I'm not a parent ambassador for them. When I meet someone, I'm going to think about, how do I engage with this person with my life? But if you want parents that every time they see a pregnant woman, they should be talking about your program, you need parent ambassadors. You need parent ambassadors. Okay. Excuse me. Yes, Kelly, definitely go check out Enrollment Engine. Check out the program. For some people, if you have more questions or whatever it is, feel free to email us. One of us will happily jump on a call with you. We're happy to have conversation about it as well, but you can join right now. There's no application process. Eric, how do you suggest getting everyone on board with properly using the calendar? I personally use my calendar. My director and admin team all complain that it's too hard and too much. Yeah, that's what the leadership operating system is. So I have an entire framework there of no micromanagement, just alignment, and how to get your admin team on board with using the calendar. The reason directors don't like using calendar, it's not too hard to keep up. They're going to be held accountable because they no longer get to just say, oh, I did that. Oh, yeah, I did 4 tours. No, a to-do list goes into the abyss. A calendar doesn't lie. Your to-do list can lie. Your to-do list can lie. It can tell you that you did X, Y, and Z. Your calendar doesn't lie. So whenever I hear people saying things like, my admin team doesn't want to use a calendar, it's because they don't want to be accountable. And so there are ways to communicate how to get everyone on board, and we teach that inside of our leadership operating system. Great question. Heidi, my calendar is my lifeline. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to stand for 5 more minutes. Any other specific questions about pipeline, calendar, the program? And again, my team is in here as well answering a lot of questions, so thank you. Let me go back and just see if there was any specific questions. Yami, you wanted to ask a question? I know you wrote like a bunch of things, but when during the tour, do you recommend talking about tuition? Again, Heidi, you have to understand your parent framework. So the first thing that I would want you to do is start to use our reading parent signal system. Once you understand how to read parent signals, then you're going to understand, do I communicate the tuition in this moment? Or do I do it in a follow-up? Do I do it in an email? Do I do it in a phone call? Do I do it in a text message? I have templates for all of them, right? So you have to understand how to read a parent signal first before you understand if you should be doing that piece. Great question. Okay, anyone else? Questions? Let me see here. Embarrassing, but I want to be honest and admit that I avoid marketing and sharing my own center out of fear and disappointment. My husband stressed to not invite our friends in. Yeah, so here's the thing when it comes to marketing, and this is why I teach about communicating the values and why you have to train the troops and get everyone on board. As long as you are trying to fit in, you are invisible. You need to be bold. You need to be different. You need to be able to stand out. Fantastic, Heidi. So glad you came on. Okay, so here's what I'm going to leave you guys with. I want you to go to Enrollment Engine, schoolsofexcellence.com/enrollment-engine. Check out our program. You can join immediately. There's no like join here this time. You can join at any time. Right now is the best time to join because we're in the beginning of the year and you can get these systems set up. And the biggest wins that I want to invite you to think about is the recovery call, which is make your investment back immediately. within 30 days and understanding the 4 types of work. So you will dive into that immediately within the first couple days of joining, where you can understand, oh my gosh, these are the 4 types of work inside of enrollment. Now I'm going to sit down with my leadership team and I'm going to unpack all of these things so that everyone gets on board with how we do enrollment inside of our center. Thank you so much for joining me for today's daily profit plan.